Jose Pedraza and Richard Comey fight to a draw. That's what happened. I mean, nobody likes a draw unless you're the fighter losing, clearly losing, and somehow you get a gift draw. That's the only way. I mean, nobody likes it, but I mean, it happened. Fuck it. It had its moments. Good action back and forth, but it had its dull moments too. Not much was happening back and forth. So I mean, can't complain too much about the draw. It happened. It's a draw. Oh well, what you gonna do about it? That is what it is. I mean, they were building this fight to be too much than what it really was. It really wasn't shit. There really wasn't much to it. They were even talking about in between fights that Delfimo was going to end up fighting the winner. Well, he was going to end up fighting Pedraza only if Pedraza won because nobody want to see the rematch with Comey. So that looked like if they were like desperate to try to sell you this main event because nobody want to see that shit either. Everybody wants to see Barbosa versus Teofimo. If Teofimo ain't gonna fight someone better than that, which he really can't right now. Well, the only better fight that he can go with it would be the Ryan Garcia fight, but that's a long shot. That's a long shot. We don't know who the fuck that guy's gonna fight. You never know who the fuck Ryan Garcia is gonna fight. He's nothing but talk. So this it sounded like they were desperately trying to sell you this fucking main event. Like nobody wants to see Jose Pedraza, even if he would have looked good in this fight and he would have beaten Comey. Nobody wanted to see him fight Delfimo. What? Because you beat Delfimo's fucking leftovers, Richard Comey? No. Fucking Pedraza, he's lost already. He's coming. Both fighters were coming off a fucking loss. Richard Comey and Pedraza, both of them are coming off a loss. Like nobody wants to see any of these fuckers fight Delfimo next. It has to be Barbosa or someone better. But the way that everything's at right now, he can't fight a world champion. Josh Taylor was the one with all the fucking world titles at 140, and he's losing one after the other. Now he's left with only one world title, and the other ones are like some weak ass fighters. I think there's already a world champion that took over one of those titles, which is a nobody. That's not gonna fucking fly with a big fight against Delfimo. And the other ones are not even filled yet. They're just vacant. And Josh Taylor's gonna end up fighting Catterall. So there's no current world champion that he could face. So the next best option would be Ryan Garcia, right? But we already know how it is with Ryan Garcia. Who the fuck is he gonna fight? He fucking does nothing but talk. So after that, the next and best option, Barbosa. Arnold Barbosa Jr. Perfect. That's a perfect fight. They're both on top rank and they're available, both of them. Let's go. So they'll be these fuckers on ESPN today was like between fights trying to sell us and trying to tell us that the winner right here, if it was Pedraza, it was going to end up fighting Teofimo. Like, come on, man, come on. That immediately when I heard that, it had me going for fucking Comey. I wanted Comey to fucking win the fight, and then he didn't win the fight. Ended up being a draw. Fuck it, same thing. I mean, don't tell me fucking Teofimo's still going to try to go with that one. Fight Jose Pedraza coming off a loss and a draw. That would be some bullshit. Well, Barbosa's right there waiting. That would show you that he is fucking terrified of Barbosa. Barbosa is a fucking top fighter, man. Undefeated. And he's been waiting for this fucking chance ever since fucking Teofimo came up to 140 before his last fight against that fucking tomato can. What was it, Pedro Campa? He was talking shit going up to 140 that nobody wanted to fight him. And a lot of fuckers at 140 came up fucking saying that he was full of shit. He never even approached anybody for that fight. And Barbosa was one of them. Like, dude, stop talking out of your ass. And he was pursuing him. And he went as far as being at the fight. Of all those names that they were talking shit back to Teofimo, he was the only one right there at the fight. Barbosa. So I bet you when he heard this today at the telecast that they were talking about Pedraza, they were trying to line up Pedraza with fucking Teofimo. Barbosa was probably punching the air like, what the fuck? Are you just going to skip me like that? So I bet you he's happy that shit happened and it'll be in a draw tonight. So yeah, this is a top fighter, man. Pedraza, man. He's one of the top fighters at 140. I mean not Pedraza, and Barbosa. Look at that. These are the top 10 best fighters at 140 currently. You got Josh Taylor as the fucking champion, and look at the rest. Who's right there? Number 6, Barbosa. Do you guys see Pedraza? Do you guys see Comey? Nah, they ain't there. They're not one of the best at 140. So, I mean, fuck, I don't know who the fuck was trying to do that matchmaking, or were they lying, trying to sell you this kind of weak ass main event tonight by Pedraza and Comey, because there was nothing else going on right now in boxing. I don't know if they were lying. They were trying to say that Pedraza, if he wins, he was going to fight Teofimo. I don't know what kind of shit was that. That was some bullshit. You got the guy right here on the same fucking network, Barbosa. So that's a top fighter right there. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, Pedraza, man. Get the fuck out of here, Pedraza and Comey both coming off a loss. She got fucking undefeated Barbosa right there waiting. And then what else did we have going on this week? Look at what the latest is on the fucking negotiations between Errol Spence and Crawford. Look at what we got. What do we got? Dan Rayfield. I am not surprised that this is being reported. That the only thing dragging on and holding up those negotiations is Terrence Crawford's guaranteed money. See what I mean? Every time they're not giving us much. We're always waiting for an announcement, and sometimes they tell us that they're close to making a fight, and then Showtime Espinosa came out talking about that they were, they were on hold. The negotiations were on hold, and now look at this. Crawford's guaranteed is the only holdup right now. I'm sure you guys ain't surprised unless you guys are fucking Crawford fanboys. Everyone else besides Crawford fanboys, you are not surprised about this. I've been telling you, this motherfucker and his bullshit is the one and only reason this fight has not been made. He's not even tied up to fucking Bob Arum to try to blame it on Bob Arum. Look at what he's doing now. I guarantee you he's getting paid the most money of all time in his fucking career, and he's still bitching and he wants a bigger fucking guarantee. That's what's holding it up. And then it sounds like we have an ultimatum now. It's fucking November or bust. Like, what side do you think that's coming from too? Huh? What side do you think that's coming from? Obviously from fucking Doug Crawford. So now it's like, what? November or bust? No December, no January? Like, what the fuck is that? What is that? That's somebody that's already fucking trying to walk away from fucking negotiations. But like I said, that's what Dan Rayfield is fucking reporting, and it says at the very beginning of this fucking tweet, rumors. And let's just hope every time I report something negative about these fucking negotiations, I always finish it off with this. Let's just hope that that's all it is, fucking rumors. And let's just hope that the fight just gets announced one of these days. Because I still want to be positive, because I want this fucking fight badly. And I know the rest of you do too. But here we go. So more bullshit from the Crawford side, most likely. Yeah, fight is not happening this year. Tito Francisco from Instagram is saying, well, it feels like if it don't happen this year, which is like in the negotiations that they're tangled into right now, it's never gonna happen, man. This is some bullshit. Like, what fucking obstacles could there be? There's no obstacles, man. Fucking bullshit, man. Oh, then who we got over here? Mr. Duck Poo Poo Andrade? Yeah, it's official, man. Janibek, Kazakh style Janibek. He's the full WBO world champion at middleweight now. Because Mr. over here, Duck Andrade, he just gave up the fucking belt and didn't fight him. He didn't want to fight him. He just gave it up. I knew as soon as a fucking dangerous contender was going to come up and be a number one mandatory to his fucking title, he was going to fucking ship bail. He was going to just fucking get the fuck out of town. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. And it's not like he's moving on to better things. What the fuck is he moving on to fight another fucking tomato can at fucking 168? A fucking nobody. Nobody said, well, unless you're from the UK. Oh, the UK fans are the only ones that fucking glorify those fucking tomato cans over there. So yeah, I mean, he's fighting a fucking nobody. It's not like he's getting another fucking world title at 168, and motherfuckers be like, oh well, he's gonna fight for the interim title at 168. So the fuck is that? Every organization makes up any fucking interim titles all the time. You ain't getting no fucking shot at Canelo. If Canelo already said you've been talking all that shit, called you a horrible fighter. He don't want to fight you. He's been saying he's not going to fight you. You've been saying he's ducking you. Yeah, all right. Well, fuck it. That's what you're sticking to. Well, stick to that, right? Then what the fuck are you doing? What's your point of going up to 168? Isn't that what the fuck you and your fans are saying? That's the reason he's doing it? Because he wants to go and be the mandatory to fucking Canelo? Well, didn't you say he's ducking you and Canelo said he ain't fighting you? So what the fuck is the point? Why don't you fight your mandatory? Huh? Giving up your fucking title to not, you're scared of your fucking dangerous contender. That's what it is. Oh, when it was fucking weak ass Liam Williams and all them fucking weak ass fools, oh, he was down to fight them. Now we see a dangerous contender. He got the fuck out of there quick as fuck. And then we got Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, it looks like he lost another belt. He vacated another belt. He was undisputed, vacated the WBC, the WBA, was left with the IBF and WBO, and now he has vacated the fucking IBF now. But like I said in the past, his hands are kind of tight. He's on that ban list from MTK Global. He cannot come into the U.S. He was already thinking about coming into the U.S. to fight, who was it, Cepeda? Yeah, he was going to fight Cepeda, wasn't it? One of those fucking, I forgot. I mean, he's dropping belts like a motherfucker. I forgot which one he was going to fight. And then that ban came in, so he can't fucking, so he's got to stick to the UK. And that's where the fucking big possibility of him fighting the rematch against Jack Catterall, the one that a lot of people were saying he was running from. It looks like that's what his mind has been set on ever since he got that ban. Well, these fucking the organization's been fucking ordering and mandating him to fucking fight these fighters and this and that. And all those fights have to be in the US, I guess. And he just keeps dumping the fucking titles one after the other. And now he's left with the WBO. And he's still a lineal. He's still the Ring Magazine champion, and he's the IBF. I mean the WBO. So I guess that's the only one he's going to be defending against Jack Catterall on the rematch. And then after that, who knows what happens now that he's not even unified anymore. So that's where we're at right now with them, with Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. That's the good thing. A lot of people were demanding that rematch because it looked like if Josh Taylor was kind of running away from it. So, I mean, he's losing all these titles, but he's still a world champion. And at least we're going to get that fight that we wanted, the rematch against Jack Catterall. And, in the UK again, because he can't leave because of that ban. He can't come into the US. So most likely it's going to happen again, most likely in Scotland, I guess. Yeah, Boxing Magic on Instagram is talking about Andrade recently was drunk calling out Eubanks. Yeah, well, yeah, I talked about it in my other live feed. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, that he was like definitely faded, man. He was talking out of his ass, talking about he's a big star, this and that, and like when he knew that motherfucker was already doing that fight with Connor Ben. Like, dude, Andrade is a fucking joke, and his fans defending his ass. Come on, man, fucking bullshit. Yeah, and then we got Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, he already informed. Everybody knew this was going to happen. When he dumped the Ring Magazine title right before the rematch between Usyk and Anthony Joshua, we already knew that that didn't matter. It was indefinite that he was retired by doing that. If he would have gave up the WBC, then we're like, all right, then maybe he's going to retire. I mean, he knew that shit was still going to be on the line. If he fights for undisputed, he'll get it back. And he did it on purpose because he wants to do some sort of fucking history. Like, I don't know, heavyweights being a number of times Ring Magazine world champions. So this would make him, I guess, 3-time Ring Magazine world champion if he wins it. So I think that's what he was doing. I mean, that's kind of a weak way to try to make history. Like, you're that champion. You give it up knowing that you're gonna fight for it again the very next fight, and that would make you again like what, a 3-time world champion for that title. It's like, come on, man, that's weak. But that's what he was doing. That's why he held on to the WBC, and he already informed the WBC that he's holding on to it. He's gonna go for the undisputed fight. So, but now we'll see. We'll see how it goes with the negotiations because he's being hard. At least through the media, through social media, he's being stupid and talking out of his ass, talking about he wants 500 billion million. He wants 500 million and talking out of his ass. Like first he says he don't care about money, and now he's fucking demanding all this money and like, bro, come on, man. That fight's gonna make money like a motherfucker. You ain't gotta be all difficult. So hopefully he doesn't keep that shit up. But I mean, Usyk. The good thing is that Usyk already came out saying too at the end of his rematch with Joshua, he came out saying that he don't want to fight again against anybody if it ain't Fury. So it looks like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen behind closed doors. It's got to be a different kind of tune by Tyson Fury. Quit talking out of your ass. He's just making all these stupid headlines, talking out of his ass. So yeah, this fucking Pedraza Comey fight. I mean, it was one of those fights where, like I said, it's the only fucking boxing fight going on right now. I wasn't really watching it like nailed. I was nailed to the TV. Fucking intense. I can't wait for this fight. Nah, I'm over here drinking, talking to people, having a good time, getting up to use the restroom, get some fucking food, watch the fight, having a good time. So I was watching it here and there. It's not like I was glued to the fucking TV, writing down, scoring the fight every fucking round, keeping up, and like, man. So I watched it here and go. They had their moments. Each fighter had their moments back and forth. I didn't really give a fuck, but I kind of had the feeling that it could be a draw. It looked like I said, they had their moments back and forth, and then they were putting up the punch stats as the fight went, and it looked close too. So I'm like, I wasn't surprised at all. But like I said, this fight was not there wasn't much to it for the future for either fighter. Like they were trying to make it seem like Pedraza was gonna fucking get Delfimo. Who knows? Maybe Delfimo was planning on doing that so he could fucking duck Barbosa, which would be a fucking duck move like a motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. Both fighters were coming off a fucking loss, and you got Barbosa, top 10 fucking fighter at that weight class, undefeated. These two motherfuckers ain't undefeated, Pedraza and Comey. So come on, man. Yeah, the undercard was good. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the fucking undercard. Vic Cord on Instagram is talking about the undercard was fire. I didn't watch the whole undercard, but I was watching that fucking fight. Which one was it? Let me see the um that fucking yeah, I forgot to bring that shit up. The knockout by Richard Torres Jr. That knockout, man, where that motherfucker put that fool out, like knocked him out, night night. He was knocked the fuck out. The heavyweight fight, Richard Torres. That fucking referee, man, got on my fucking nerves, man. Why is boxing like that? Like stuck in the fucking old ages where they have to have old ass fucking referees, old ass fucking judges. These motherfuckers, man, they get on my nerves, man. That referee, man, that fool, Richard Torres Jr. knocks this fool out like cold and nasty. That fool went down like a sack of potatoes on his fucking face, man. And I'm not talking about like his fucking on the side of his face, like his cheek. No, that motherfucker was like straight on his fucking nose, his face, like mouth towards the canvas, like knocked the fuck out nasty. So, that motherfucker can't even breathe and he's knocked out cold. So, naturally, the fucking referee will come up and, kind of flip him to the side, move him to the side so he could get some fucking air. This fucking old ass ref just comes up to him, gets on his knee and puts his fucking hand, his weight on him. He slightly puts his weight on him by putting his hand on his back and then the other hand on his back. That's it. He didn't do shit, but just fucking put his fucking hands on him. And I kept fucking screaming at the TV, turn him around. Turn him the fuck around, bro. That fool can't breathe. No, that fool was just right there, like, oh, he put his fucking hands on him, on his back. While that fool's flat on the canvas with his fucking nose and his mouth, he can't breathe until the fucking doctors came in and they started moving him and flipping him around so he could, attend to him. Bro, fucking useless ass motherfucking referee. Old ass fool, too. Like, fucking old ass motherfuckers, useless. Like, just like the judges, man. Shit gets on my nerves, man. Why they gotta fucking hire them fools so old, man? It's a fucking dangerous sport, man. What the fuck is that? Yeah, but that was, I mean, that looked like a mismatch. A lot of these fucking up and comers from Top Rank, you see them on these shows all the time in the undercard. And I mean, fuck, they're up and comers, but it looks like they're fucking horribly mismatched. Like that one, look at Richard Torres just put him out. I mean, the other heavyweight fight too on the fucking, well, I think it was the co-main event with fucking Big Baby Jared Anderson, man. That one too, man. That fool would just put him out. He didn't knock him out completely, but he knocked him out. So it looks like there's a lot of mismatches right there, like Sander Sayas, mismatch after another. So I mean, you gotta step it up with that fucking matchmaking. But I mean, that fucking referee got on my fucking nerves. Like, motherfucker's just gonna go get on his knees and put his fucking hands on his back. Turn him the fuck around, bro. He can't breathe. So some bullshit, man. Yeah, and then I wanted to talk about Devin Haney too, man. I don't know if you guys seen that fucking back and forth. Devin Haney has been going back and forth with fucking dumbass Dougie Fisher from the Ring magazine. Dougie Fisher's just a bag of shit. Unprofessional like hell, man. Devin Haney was just fucking expressing his fucking he was just expressing his anger towards the fucking Ring magazine because they do not fucking rank him in the top 10 pound for pound. As you can see, here's the top 10 pound for pound by the Ring magazine. So, I mean, it's already bullshit that you're not ranking me in the top 10 and I'm undisputed. Not only am I undisputed, I made history by being the fucking youngest undisputed world champion in the four belt era. And you're not putting me in the top 10 pound for pound. I'm like, okay, fuck it. But I think what pisses him off the most is this. This fucking little fucking piece of shit, little cherry picking piece of shit right here. Yeah, this one right here, Lomachenko. That's what pisses him off the most, I think. Is the fact that they don't put him in the top 10 pound for pound. All right. And then on top of that, you put this little fucker, Loma, who is not undefeated, who already got his fucking chance and lost. He failed miserably against fucking Teofimo. And then after the Teofimo fight, what does he do? He goes on and he fights Teofimo's leftovers in back-to-back fights. And now he's coming out of the fucking Ukraine war to fight a fucking bum. A nobody. And a lot of motherfuckers are bringing up shit like, oh, well, he's coming out of the war. So Usyk was coming out of the fucking war. Did you see him cherry picking? He went straight to the fire, straight into the fire, and he fucking fought the rematch against Anthony Joshua. You see that as cherry picking coming off the fucking war? And a lot of motherfuckers talking about this and that. Oh, he was in the trenches and the other one wasn't. No, they weren't. Neither Usyk or Lomachenko were in the fucking trenches. Neither one were frontline fighting. Let me tell you what both of them were doing. They're stars in their country. They were not put in the front lines. They were not in the trenches. Both Usyk and Lomachenko were just taking pictures with fucking guns in their hands. They were registered, but they were not in the fucking front lines. They were there, but they're not in the front lines. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And it doesn't fucking matter. Usyk came out of that same fucking war and he went into fucking battle with Anthony Joshua. Lomachenko's fighting a fucking nobody. I think that's what pisses him off the most. This motherfucker's not even he's in the same weight class as him. Devin Haney's undisputed in the same weight class where Lomachenko is not undefeated. He's not even a current world champion. He hasn't even fought a current world champion at the time, and I don't know how long since he lost badly to fucking Teofimo Lopez. Kambosos destroyed Teofimo, and who dominated Kambosos? Devin Haney. I think that's what pisses him off the most. How the fuck is that little shit gonna be there? And then on top of that, he's fighting. He's cherry picking. He's fighting a fucking nobody. He's fighting this guy. Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine, who the fuck is that Ortiz, man? Well, I'll tell you who it is. I'm showing you who it is. A fucking guy that has never fought a 12-round fight. A guy that has only fought 2 10-round fucking fights. Has only had 87 professional rounds. And he just fought to a draw against a fucking tomato can in an 8th round fight last year. This is like a humongous fucking cherry pick, bro. Huge. Huge. Like you're in the top 10 pound for pound, right? Ain't that where they got you in the top 10 pound for pound? Tell me who else in the top 10 pound for pound is fighting fucking bums like this. Who the fuck is fighting cans like this? Usyk as number one. He ain't fighting these cans. Naoya, he ain't fighting these cans. He's going for fucking undisputed. Terrence Crawford, not this low. We fucking criticize Crawford for his fucking opposition. He fought former world champions at least, man. Errol Spence, he ain't fighting fools like this. Canelo, he ain't fighting fools like this. B-Ball, hell nah. Josh Taylor, hell nah. Undisputed Charlo, hell nah. Better BF, hell to the fucking nah. Lomachenko is the one doing this shit. And supposedly he's pound for pound. My fucking ass he is, man. So no excuses, because if you come up with that war shit, well, look at that, man. Usyk is coming off that same war. And look who the fuck Usyk fought. So you got nowhere to go with these fucking weak-ass excuses if you're a fucking whack-ass Loma fan. Get the fuck out of here with these weak-ass excuses, man. Pack your bags and get the fuck out of here. Some bullshit, man. So I think that's what pisses him off the most. Is the fact that somebody in your own fucking weight division that has no world title, and you still got him in there, but you don't got me. And then wait, so the what I was talking about, Dougie Fisher on Twitter, I mean, he's lashing out because he doesn't like that, how he's being disrespected. Devin Haney. So Devin Haney posted on Instagram, on Twitter, that he did not want anything to do with the ring belt. That everybody's gonna see that he's not gonna be rocking that shit before this next fight or after. You're not gonna see me with that belt at all. So in other words, he's saying, he's throwing that shit in the garbage. I wish he would do that shit. I wish he would do what Riddick Bowe did it back in the days with the WBC and come out in video or show a picture or something and grab that fucking Ring Magazine belt and throw it in the fucking trash can. So that motherfucker Dougie Fisher from the Ring Magazine, that bag of shit, could really have a fit about that and now he'll have an excuse for being so pissed off because he came out lashing back at Devin Haney on Twitter. He was talking about, yeah, well, you can send it to me anytime you want. You can mail it to me. I'll have somebody pick it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of letting Devin Haney, lash out, he's pissed off, let it out. You have to go in there and make it even worse. You're part of the Ring Magazine. You're going in there and making it seem like you don't give a fuck the way he feels by saying, well, if you don't want it, send it to me. I'll send somebody to go pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Let him have his fucking moment. He's pissed off about it. He ain't doing what I say he should do, like like fucking Bo did back in the day. Get that shit and put it in a trash can. He didn't go that far. You know what I mean? So you Dougie Fisher, you fucking bag of shit, you didn't have to go that far and go fucking reply to his tweets and fucking make things worse and make it clear that you're nothing but a fucking Loma fanboy and you don't give a fuck about fucking Devin Haney. He wasn't doing none of that disrespectful shit. He just said that nobody was going to see him rocking that shit. Nobody was going to see him with the belt. That ain't disrespecting the fucking belt. Until you see him do that kind of shit like fucking Bo did back in the day, throwing that shit in the trash can or stomping on it and setting that shit on fire, then you could feel disrespect and have an excuse for fucking going over there and fucking being unprofessional. That's what he is. Dougie Fisher's nothing but an unprofessional bag of shit. That's what he fucking is. So I hope that fucking Devin Haney would do that shit, man. Do that Riddick bullshit that he did with the WBC back in the day. Throw that shit in the fucking trash can. Fuck the Ring Magazine and fuck Dougie Fisher, fucking bag of shit. And then in those same comments on Twitter, there's people talking about Loma and he's all fucking praising him and shit. Yeah, that he's one in a million and he's this and that, like praising him in the same fucking comment section that he's talking shit that he's went in there to respond to fucking Devin Haney. Like making it clear as fuck, unprofessional as fuck, making it clear as fuck that that's what he is, a fucking Loma fanboy. And that's why he hates on fucking Devin Haney. It could be because of race, being a racist, or that he's nothing but a Loma fanboy and it hurts him that fucking Devin Haney at 23 already accomplished something that Loma can't fucking accomplish and has never accomplished. And on top of that, he ducked Devin Haney in the past and gave his WBC belt to fucking Devin Haney. Fucking pussy ass move. So that's what he's showing. He's showing his true colors. Fucking Loma fanboy like a motherfucker. Dougie Fisher. That's what he is. That motherfucker acted like if fucking Devin Haney actually did some of that shit, like disrespect the belt, like big time, and throw that shit in the trash, stomp on it, step on it, set it on fire. He didn't do none of that shit, man. Let him have his fucking moment and show his displeasure with the Ring magazine leaving him out of the top 10. That's it. That's all he was showing. He was fucking pissed off about that. That was it. But here comes Dougie Fisher to the rescue. Fucking bag of shit. So I hope he does that, man, in the future, man. I hope he does, man. Show a fucking picture or come out on video of fucking Devin Haney. Throw that shit in the trash can. Throw that shit away. Yeah, and then we got Kambosos. Kambosos came out saying already that he's already kind of like making excuses why he lost the first fight with the rematch with Devin Haney. He's saying that he didn't have that fucking mentality, that do or die mentality, and now he has it. Because he's saying that if he doesn't win this fight, that he's gonna retire. So it's like, bro, well, sayonara. It looks like this is gonna be your last fight, then, motherfucker. You ain't winning this shit. And now he got a chip on his shoulder. Now fucking Devin Haney, he's pissed off about this shit with the Ring magazine. So more focused than ever, man. More focused than ever, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. So Devin Haney, it sounds like it sounds like a fucking excuse to me. That's a straight out excuse right there, man. Straight out. Like he's trying to bring up more shit, more reasons why he lost the first fight. He already came up with so many, and now he's bringing another one. Oh, because I didn't have that do or die mentality. Now I do. The fuck out of here, man. Just making things worse for you, man. All right, what we got coming up next? So it was kind of like a slow night. I mean, earlier it was a slow night here in the U.S., but earlier I caught a little bit of that fucking weak ass KSI shit on the zone, and I only caught it because it was for fucking free. I just went into the zone because it was in the afternoon over here in the U.S. That fucking KSI shit on the zone, they kept promoting it as pay per view. So I went in there and I'm like, I wonder if it's fucking pay per view. We're here in the U.S. So I went in there and yeah, I go into the thumbnail. I click on it and it says right there that I had to pay. I think it was only $10 here in the US. It was a pay per view. That's what it came out as. So I got out, and as soon as I was going to get out of the app, the fucking fight just started. It gave it to me for free. I think it was the co-main event. So that's the only reason I caught it. So I'm like, oh shit, I got it for free. So fuck it. Well, that's the only reason I saw it. And then I saw the main event and I'm like, dude, that shit was like horrible, man. He was fighting some guy that was not even there to fight, man. Like any fucking bullshit punch, he was going down over and over. And then they said that, oh my God, it was a professional boxer. He was some professional boxer that was weak as fuck. Like he was 2-5. His last four fights he had lost, all of them consecutive. And I thought he was an influencer or a rapper, like kind of like, you know how they were doing all those fucking fights, that whole card. And no, he wasn't. So I think that's what they were trying to sell you, that, oh, wow, KSI was fighting some fucking professional boxer. Man, that was some weak ass professional boxer, man. He just kept going down and complaining to the referee. Any little punch just kept going down. So, yeah, I mean, that's what was going on. And then in the night, it was when top ranked fights with the Pedraza, Comey, what I was talking about. And then we got next week. Next week, we got on a Friday. It should be a bit busier week. Next week on Friday is going to be, oh, no, not on Friday, on Saturday. Next Saturday is going to be that Gallo Estrada, Gallina Estrada, fucking Juan Francisco Estrada. He's fighting some fucking, I don't know, I never heard of him. And he's fighting there, and then the undercard, it looks like whatever, but that's going to be on the zone, so that'll be Saturday night. You know, that's going to be the long weekend, next weekend over here in the U.S., and then that's the reason why the next day on Sunday, it's going to be that pay-per-view fight by Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz. So yeah, they're making that one on Sunday because it's gonna be the long weekend here in the U.S. So yeah, I'm more excited for that one. The one on Sunday, even though it's on pay per view, I'm not gonna pay for it. I'll just find a stream and watch that shit. It's got fucking Isaac Cruz on the undercard. It's got a fucking Abner Mares. So that one should be better. So because of the long weekend, we got fights on Saturday night and Sunday night. So that should be good next weekend. A lot better than this weekend. Like I said, this week was kind of slow. Yeah, Vic Court is saying I probably still wouldn't have watched it for free. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the KSI one. It was early in the afternoon here in the U.S. I had nothing to do. Like I said, I mean, I got the zone, and like I said, I just went in there to check it out to just make sure if it was pay per view or not. Here, and like, man, I mean, it's just entertainment. It's just for the fuck of it. It's not like like what the fuck. It's not like I'm paying for it. I mean, and this is another example. Like I you know, I already said the criticism about the event and everything. I already criticized it, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like I've said in the past, there's room for everything in boxing, man. This is just like WWE entertainment. There's room for everything. It does not take anything away from our real boxing. That's how a lot of people exaggerate and like to talk shit about this, like it been out of shape about it. It's not taking anything away from you. It's not taking anything away from the badass boxing that we're accustomed to. Nothing, nothing. There's room for everything. We got even got bare knuckle boxing. We got fucking celebrity boxing, YouTube boxing like today. None of that takes away from the professional championship boxing that we watch. Just entertainment. That's all it is. So I don't know why people get too, pissed off. I mean, like I said, I got the zone, so that's why I went in there. There was nothing else early in the afternoon. That's the reason. Not like I went out of my way to fucking watch it. Like I was doing something important in the street and I fucking rushed home to fucking watch that. Like, nah, fuck no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. So yeah, I was there and I'm like I said, I went in there and it fucking said it was gonna charge me and I tried to get out and it fucking came on. So I watched it. But yeah, I laughed about it, man. It was like, come on, that main event was weak as fuck. What do I think about Andy Vences versus Henry LeBron next month? I mean, Vences, let me see. It's the same fool that I'm thinking. Yeah, this is the same fool, Andy Vences. I think they try to overhype him, sell him to us too much. I don't think he's good at all, man. No, if he's coming out two fucking back-to-back losses, he lost 3 out of his last 4 fights. Yeah, I knew it was this guy. Yeah, they try to make it seem like he was the future, like he had a bright future. No, he doesn't, man. Fuck no. So nah, man. I got nothing to say about that fucking fight. Oh, it's on the Shakur Stevenson card. Yeah, like nah, man. I mean, that Vences guy, man, he ain't what they're trying to sell you that he is. He ain't. He's so limited. I've seen him in some undercard fights. I mean, come on, man. Back-to-back losses. He lost 3 out of his last 4. He even had a draw before that. Like, nah. So nah, I ain't got no opinion about that guy. Yeah, El Paulo Cardoso is talking about the pound for pound list. He's saying pound for pound list should only be champions with the best record. So these tomato hunters would fight the elite in their division. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people try to always bring up that shit about, oh, pound for pound, like try to bring up their criteria, and then a lot of them bring up in the criteria that it's about like what do you think like their potential. Like, nah, get the fuck out of here. It's all about accomplishments and accolades and where you at now. And yeah, like this guy said, you gotta at least be a fucking current world champion, bro. Like, and if you're not, it's like you just lost your title and you're in for another fucking quick, immediate rematch to try to get it back. So it's like, nah, get the fuck out of here. So I think that's what they try to go by with the Loma fucking fanboys, like weak ass Dougie Fisher. That's what they try to make it seem like, if that's what it's about. Like the eye test, what they're capable of doing. Nah, chales, man. Fuck that. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. It's about accomplishments and accolades. Where the fuck you at now? What you done now? And Lomachenko right there. It's a fucking embarrassment, bro. Like that's like some fanboy. And let me tell you something, Dougie Fisher is not the only one. He's not like just doing these rankings on his own. It's a whole panel of fuckers doing these fucking rankings, and they add them up by votes or whatever. So it's not only him. There's a bunch of other fuckers like him in there. And that's why, look, I mean, look at that shit, man. This motherfucker ain't even like close to being in the top 10. Like, oh, he's at number 9. He's at number 10. That motherfucker's all the way up at number 6, bro. Comfortably. Comfortably just out of the top 5 at number 6. Can you believe that shit? How do you even try to justify that shit? And then they bring up like Devin Haney. I've seen those comments and all that shit when they were going back and forth on Twitter. That Devin Haney, you know, he's fucking undisputed, the first one, the quickest one in the 4-bout era. And they're like, yeah, but who did he beat and shit like that? Look at the number of fucking weeks that Lomachenko has been in there. Look at that. 324 fucking weeks. You know what that shit comes out to 6 years. You know when they put him in there? When he beat fucking weak ass here. Let me fucking bring that shit up. Let me show you who the fuck he had beaten when they put him in the top 10 pound for pound. So all these fuckers trying to bring up that fucking Devin Haney hasn't beaten anybody but Kambosos. Well, let me show you where fucking Lomachenko was when they put him in there, and who he had fucking beaten. See, there's no fucking. They just keep talking out of their ass. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all how they try to make it seem like there's a good reason why he is in there and Devin Haney ain't. Look, let me show you. Lomachenko has been in the top 10 pound for pound on the Ring magazine right after his victory over Roman Martinez, Rocky Martinez. Remember that motherfucker? Look at that. Look at who he had beaten. He already had a fucking loss. You see, Devin Haney is undefeated, undisputed. And you're saying that he only beat Kambosos and that's it? Lomachenko was in the top 10 after beating Roman Martinez, and he was not undefeated. He had already lost his fucking second fight against Orlando Salido, a motherfucker with 12 fucking losses. And look at that. He had been Roman Martinez, Romulo Coachilla, Gamiel Rodriguez, Surya Takaichu. What the fuck is that? And he beat Gary Russell Jr. That's it. Gary Russell Jr. is the only motherfucking name in there. Just like Devin Haney, you're trying to say that that's it. Kambosos was the only name. And Kambosos was a fucking unified lineal world champion when Devin Haney beat him. Gary Russell wasn't. It was for a vacant world title when he fought Gary Russell. And you're trying to say, you see, there's no fucking way you could justify and make it make sense that Devin Haney has fought nobody but Kambosos. This fool had fought nobody but fucking Gary Russell, and he was not undefeated. He had already lost to Orlando Salido with fucking 12 losses. So get the fuck out of here with that fanboy, Loma fanboy shit. Toros, saludos, viejo. They just making circles and circles in their fucking mind, the fanboy circles, man. There's no way of you being able to make it make sense. The fucking way you put it, that Devin Haney had fought only Kambosos. Well, how is it that and Devin Haney's undefeated? How is it that fucking Loma was in there when he had only fought Gary Russell and he had already lost to Salido? See what I mean? El Pablo is asking me, Usyk versus Tyson Fury, what's your prediction? I've said it in the past, man. I said it last week. I don't think Usyk could beat him, man. I think that's it, man. This was it, man. He was courageous what he did against Anthony Joshua, but I think that, I mean, and even then, it got a little complicated here and there in both fights, you know? He went through fire. He took some shots. And that's Anthony Joshua, bro. Shy-ass little fucking mental midget. Anthony Joshua hardly throws any punches. He finally threw punches. He went at him in the 9th round in this rematch. That was about it. Fury's going to be on his ass or try to outbox him. He's impose his body on him. Like, he ain't going to be fucking shy about it like this stupid ass fool Anthony Joshua. And he's way bigger, man. 6'9", bro. And then his weight. You seen what he did with Deontay Wilder when he fucking went in heavy as fuck and imposed his body on him? He's gonna be way too big, and he's just as skillful as Usyk, but he's just in the way bigger version. So, I mean, I would love for Usyk to win. I would love for Usyk to win. Everybody knows that I don't like fucking Tyson Fury, fucking cheating ass. But it's just, I'm being real, man. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'll bet the whole fucking house on Tyson Fury, man. And that's not knocking Tyson Fury. That's not knocking on Usyk. It's just that fuck. He's way too big, man. Just way too big. I mean, if he was just way too big, but that's all he had, then maybe. But we know he doesn't. He already has some power. He showed his power against Wilder. He's just as smart. He could outbox you. He could use his body against you. So it's like he could impose his body on your ass. It's like, nah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. How the fuck? I just don't see it. Simple as that. Usyk will not beat Tyson Fury. I would love for him to do it, but he won't.